We know that the Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Gwarube, will officially announce the outcome of the 2025 Matric exams on the 12th of January. Matric candidates can access their results the following day, being the 13th of January. The Matric results will be announced at the Mosaik Church in Fairlands. Lobang Alamu joins us now to give us a sense on the build-up to these results. As Lobang, a very good afternoon to you. We've been crisscrossing the country, really just getting a sense of the outcome and the reaction of IEB matriculants, some talking about how they'll study engineering, medicine, applied mathematics being some of the top areas of study. What can be expected?
Well, a very good afternoon. That's correct. We are in Fairlands now, just under 5 hours until the Minister of Basic Education makes that announcement. Now, we are yet to find out if the class of 2025 will manage to exceed the record that was set by the class of 2024, which sits at about 87.4%. Now, speaking of records, the class of 2025 has seen the most full-time candidates who sat to write these examinations. Now, to talk more to us about what happens after these students now write the examinations, they pass, what happens then? Universities are inundated. Even TVET colleges have been full to the brim with applications from all these students. Close to 1 million students wrote the 2025 Matric exams across the board. Now, that includes the NSC, the IEB, as well as SABC. Thank you so much for your time. We're now joined by Professor Mary McCoff to talk more about what alternative careers can some of these students look into, because we do know that every year we find that universities are full to the brim with applications, and some students just basically give up.
I think there's two key answers to that question. The first is that we do not have at the moment a labor-absorbing economy. And that's a challenge for the whole of society, and it's why we need to do everything that we can to increase the economic opportunities for the country, resulting in more employment. Doing skills training on its own doesn't do that. But skills training is important because it gives people greater opportunity to use a variety of skills. So that's the first answer. The second answer is that we need, as a country, 30 years into our democracy and into the new education policy, to understand that we've got to make our national qualifications framework work. Now, the national qualifications framework says, hold on, yes, you can get a degree. That would be at NQF level 7. You've just passed the NEC, that's NQF level 4. But there's a variety of routes, there's a variety of institutions, and if things don't work for you now and immediately, it's possible to accumulate courses, accumulate credits, study part-time, do a skills training course. And all of those courses need to be registered on the National Qualifications Framework so that over the course of your life you build your CV and you can move up the levels of the National Qualifications Framework and across. We have to make it better understood, and I think it's the responsibility of DHET and DBE to make it work better. All of that is important in order to say to young people, don't give up. It isn't university or nothing. You've got a life of building your CV for the many opportunities that will come and which we can't always anticipate.
Prof, let's talk about some of the challenges that the class of 2025 might have faced throughout their academic year. And how do you think they've done? Do you think they did enough to surpass the record set by the class of 2024?
Okay, so this group of learners, if we look at the COVID years, they were almost least affected. They were mostly impacted in grade 7 and in grade 5, lost most of grade 5. So We've seen over the last few years that COVID hasn't had as negative impact as expected, not because it wasn't serious, but because of the efforts of learners and their families. And I really liked what the Minister said to the successful learners or the high-achieving learners this morning, that what they've achieved with the support of their family. So as we now have to say, how do you move forward? It's a question of critically having families working with learners, encouraging them, helping them deal with disappointment. It's a very important time in the life of a family.
Professor, thank you so much for your time. We'll have this conversation as the day progresses, and that's exactly when we find out what the class of 2025 has been able to achieve. We do know that at around 4 p.m. we expect the Department of Basic Education Director General to start the technical briefing, so we'll bring you those visuals as well.